Imagine a labyrinth of underground chambers filled with centuries-old secrets, documents so controversial that only a select few have ever laid eyes on them. What if within those stone walls lies proof of extraterrestrial life, lost prophecies, or the true history of humanity? Tonight, we're going to pry open the doors of the Vatican's Secret Archives and take a peek at the forbidden knowledge guarded for centuries. What is up, everybody? I am Matt, and this is the TTT Podcast, where we dive into the most intriguing and mind-bending, well, in our opinion, conspiracy theories from around the globe. Joining me, as always, is my co-host, the one, the only, Luther Grimwood. What is up, everybody?
Hey! What's going on, folks? Luther Grimwood here, ready to dive into another wild ride. How's everyone doing today?
Well, I think everybody's doing good, and if they're not, well, I'm sorry, but I know I'm doing good, my dude. We got, as the cool kids say, a juicy episode today, don't we?
Oh, absolutely. We've got a juicy one lined up that's going to keep everyone on the edge of their seats. So buckle up, folks, because today's episode is going to be one for the books.
Oh, I see what you did there. Tonight's episode is going to take us to one of the most mysterious places on Earth, the Vatican Secret Archives.
You got it. We're diving into the shadowy depths of the Vatican Secret Archives, where centuries of hidden history, mysterious documents, and controversial secrets lie in wait. Get ready for a thrilling journey through the unknown.
Into the unknown. These archives have fueled speculations for centuries. And me and Luther and I, we're about to unravel the theories, the myths, and the tantalizing truths that lie within.
That's right. We're peeling back the layers of secrecy to explore what might be hidden behind those locked doors. From lost gospels to suppressed historical events, we're about to dig into the juiciest mysteries the Vatican's vaults have to offer. Stay tuned, folks. This is going to be an epic ride.
Luther, I gotta ask you, have you ever wondered what it would be like to get a guided tour through the Vatican's deepest, darkest secrets? Because imagine the whispers of history echoing through marble corridors as we uncover documents that could rewrite what we know about the world.
Oh, absolutely. I can almost hear those ancient parchments rustling and the faint echoes of history's best-kept secrets. A guided tour through those shadowy halls would be like stepping into a real-life thriller, unraveling enigmas that have shaped the world from behind the scenes. It'd be the ultimate adventure for any history buff.
Michael Jackson thriller style, right? Thriller. Dun, 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 dun. No?
Exactly. Picture it, us moonwalking through the dimly lit archives, dodging dusty tomes like we're in the coolest music video ever. And just when you think you've seen it all, boom, another mind-blowing revelation that changes everything you thought you knew. Thriller vibes all the way.
All the way. Listen, I don't want to waste anybody else's time, and it's nice out where I am, and I feel like having a beverage, so we're going to come up with a themed beverage for this episode so people can make it and sip and enjoy this, and I got a great one. Do you want to hear it, Luther?
Absolutely. Hit me with it. A themed beverage is the perfect companion for this mysterious adventure. What's your concoction for tonight's episode?
We're going to call this one the Vatican Vault. It's going to be 2 ounces of black Sambuca, 1 ounce of espresso, ½ ounce amaretto, a splash of cream, and we're going to garnish it with a little bit of some coffee beans. And you're probably thinking, how do you make this? It's easy. You just combine the black Sambuca and espresso in a shaker with ice. Shake it like a Polaroid picture, add the amaretto and a splash of cream, shake well, then strain into a chilled glass, garnish with coffee beans on top for a little mysterious touch.
That sounds absolutely divine. The Vatican Vault is the perfect blend of rich, dark flavors with that hint of mystery, just like the archives themselves. So, folks, mix up your Vatican Vault, get comfy, and let's unlock some secrets together.
Yes. And I even came up with a little description to really set the drink mood because the Vatican Vault, it's dark, it's bold, it's complex. Complex. I can't speak today. I apologize. Much like the secrets locked away beneath Vatican City, sip it slowly and ponder the mysteries that lie behind centuries old doors.
I love it. That description sets the perfect mood. With each sip of the Vatican Vault, you're not just enjoying a drink, you're embarking on a journey through time and intrigue. So raise your glass and let's toast to uncovering the hidden stories of the past.
I like it. With that being said, we're going to jump into this. And I thought that we need to kind of really paint the picture and let people know, like, what are the Vatican Secret Archives? That way, we can really understand the conspiracy. And I feel like everybody really needs to know what the Vatican Secret Archives really are, right?
Absolutely. Let's set the stage. The Vatican Secret Archives, or as they're officially known, the Vatican Apostolic Archive, are basically the holy grail of historical repositories. They house centuries worth of documents, letters, state papers, and correspondence from popes, kings, and emperors. This treasure trove spans over 1,000 years of history and is kept under tight wraps, leading to endless speculation and conspiracy theories about what's really hidden within.
Congrats to the new Pope, an American, right?
Not quite yet, but who knows what the future holds. The archives have definitely seen their fair share of papal secrets and international intrigue. So as we peel back the layers, we might just stumble upon a few surprises that could rewrite the history books.
True. But what I was saying, they just named the new Pope. There was smoke, and I was saying, congrats to the Pope. Do you not want to congrats to the new Pope? It's okay if you don't want to, Luther. We can move on. Just tell me.
Ah, got it. My bad for the mix-up. Absolutely congrats to the new Pope. It's always a monumental moment. All right, let's dive into the heart of these archives and see what secrets we can uncover.
Well, that was a polite way of saying move on. Don't really care. And listen. And despite the name of the secret archives and everything like that, they're not really as secret as you might think. Because did you know this, Luther? And anybody listening, that the word secret actually comes from the Latin secretrum, secretum, meaning private. I'm sorry, I can't talk.
No worries at all. You nailed it. The term secret really just means private or personal, indicating that these archives were meant for the Pope and his closest advisors. But of course, that hasn't stopped imaginations from running wild with what might be hidden inside.
I know my imagination ever since I've kind of like, let's cover this week has been running wild. And the first thing that really I keep asking myself and questioning is why can only qualified scholars access them? And even then, permission is highly restricted.
It definitely adds to the mystique, doesn't it? The Vatican controls access to protect these precious documents, but it also fuels speculation about what they might be hiding. Only a select few get to peek behind the curtain, which leaves the rest of us wondering what secrets are still buried within those walls.
Secret, secret. I got a secret. If you had to guess, or maybe there is some, documentation that actually proves this, how many people, let's say in the last 100 years have had access to these documents?
It's tough to pin down an exact number, but it's likely in the thousands. Over the past century, a limited number of scholars and historians have been granted access, but each one has to go through a rigorous vetting process. Even then, they only get access to specific documents for their research, so the veil of mystery stays pretty thick.
What is the rigorous vetting process? Do you have any idea?
Yeah, it's pretty intense. Scholars have to submit detailed applications outlining their research intentions, and they often need to provide references and credentials proving their expertise. Even then, access is limited to specific documents, and there are strict rules about what can be copied or published. It's like trying to get a backstage pass to the most exclusive show on Earth.
What are the odds of me and you being able to get access to this?
Well, unless we suddenly become renowned historians or pull off the ultimate academic heist, the odds are pretty slim. But hey, we can dream, right? In the meantime, we'll just keep digging through whatever information we can get our hands on and share the intrigue with everyone else.
So you're saying there's a chance?
Exactly. There's always a chance. And who knows, maybe one day we'll stumble upon a golden opportunity to peek behind those sacred doors. Until then, we'll keep the curiosity alive and the theories flowing.
It is just wild that some of the most sought after documents remain completely off limits. And to add to, the conspiracy and the speculation, a lot of people think because the church is hiding something that is world shattering.
Absolutely. The secrecy just adds fuel to the fire. People imagine all sorts of things, from hidden gospels and proof of extraterrestrial contact to evidence that could shake the foundations of modern religion. It's no wonder the Vatican Secret Archives have become a hotbed for conspiracy theories.
Yeah, and if anybody watched last week's episode, we talked about how somebody that's controlling the narrative or whatever people, want to believe are hiding the advanced technological, society that did exist, from the buildings that had been buried, the mud floods and all of that stuff. If you haven't seen it, go watch it last week.
Exactly. Controlling the narrative is a powerful tool, and the idea that the Vatican might be sitting on documents that could rewrite history is both tantalizing and a little unsettling. Whether it's lost knowledge, hidden truths, or advanced technologies from the past, the mere possibility keeps the intrigue alive. It's like a never-ending mystery, but invites endless speculation.
Yeah, just keep passing the old, plate around at church as they continually hide stuff from us.
Haha, well, it's definitely a perspective many share. The idea that there's more to the story than what's on the surface keeps these theories thriving. Whether they're hiding profound truths or just preserving ancient history, the mystery keeps us all fascinated and always wanting to dig deeper.
Exactly. Let me ask you this, Luther. What do you think could be so dangerous that it's kept locked away for centuries?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? It could be anything from documents that challenge the origins of religious texts to evidence of historical events that were covered up or misrepresented. Maybe even records of controversial dealings between the church and various world powers. Whatever it is, it's got to be something that would shake things up in a big way if it ever saw the light of day.
What do you think? All right, let's put your conspiracy theory hat back on right here. What do you think it is that would shake up everything? And do you think, as a society, in the way that we're living right now, do you think we could handle the shakeup?
All right, conspiracy hat firmly on. If I had to guess, something that could shake everything up might be proof of a vastly different historical narrative, like evidence of early contact with advanced civilizations, or even proof that key religious texts were altered over time. And as for whether society could handle it, well, we've proven to be pretty resilient. It'd be chaotic at first, but ultimately we adapt and move forward. It'd definitely be a wild ride, though.
What do you think that they would need to change in that text that is so controversial? Like, do you, I just don't. I'm trying to really think in my brain what they're trying to cover up.
It's a mind bender for sure. Maybe they're guarding texts that offer a different interpretation of major events or reveal lost teachings that could alter the foundation of certain beliefs. It could even be something that ties into the origins of the church's power and influence, or documents that contradict long-held doctrines. Whatever it is, it must be something that would cause a seismic shift in how we understand history and faith.
Yeah, I mean, all of that doesn't seem to be, and this is probably a little downplaying it a lot. Is, to me, it doesn't seem like it's that huge of a deal. If something was found that differs from a religious belief, I feel like we get the truth out there, everybody adjusts to it and be like, okay, well, this is what they're saying. Let's go with that now.
I get what you mean. In a world where we're constantly updating our understanding based on new discoveries, it might not seem like a huge deal. But for institutions built on centuries of tradition and doctrine, any major shift could be incredibly disruptive. It's a balancing act between preserving tradition and embracing new truths. But you're right, eventually the truth tends to find its way out, and we adapt.
It absolutely. I mean, hiding things about advanced civilization, that, I mean, I could see, especially if the wrong people get the technology. Like, that could be scary. I could see that potentially being covered up, but it just seems like it's so much more than that.
Yeah, if there's something on that level, like lost technology or knowledge that could fundamentally alter our understanding of human history, that would be a game changer. It's the kind of revelation that could shift how we see ourselves and our place in the world. Whatever it is, the mere possibility keeps the intrigue alive and makes the Vatican Secret Archives one of the most fascinating places on Earth.
Yeah, I just feel like there's so much in there. Imagine we get into there, we get into the vault and we start reading some stuff, and it just turns out to not really be that big of a deal. I mean, is there the possibility that it isn't that big of a deal?
Oh, totally. There's always the chance that the hype and mystery have outgrown the reality, and the archives are just a treasure trove of historical documents without earth-shattering secrets. It could be that the real intrigue is in the sheer volume and age of the documents rather than any world-changing revelations. But hey, the allure of the unknown is what keeps us all hooked, right?
You aren't kidding. And I mean, what else? I mean, there's always been links to, like the Ark of the Covenant and, potential huge, treasures and stuff like that. Is that still potentially a link or a theory or potential that things like that are hidden there as well?
Absolutely. Those theories are still floating around. The idea that the Vatican might be safeguarding legendary artifacts like the Ark of the Covenant or vast hidden treasures is a popular notion. It adds that extra layer of mystique and adventure, almost like a real-life Indiana Jones scenario. While there's no concrete evidence, the possibility that such treasures could be hidden away in those vaults definitely keeps the intrigue alive.
Absolutely. Now, as far as security, what kind of security do they have protecting the vault?
The security is top-notch. The archives are guarded by the Swiss Guard, and there are strict access controls with multiple layers of security. Surveillance systems, secure entry points, and probably a whole host of undisclosed measures are in place. It's like Fort Knox for historical documents. Getting unauthorized access is practically impossible, which only adds to the mystique.
Now, you said the Swiss government controls it. Is that correct?
Not quite. The Swiss Guard are the guards of the Vatican, not the Swiss government. They serve as the de facto military and security force for the Pope and the Vatican City. They handle the protection of places like the Vatican Secret Archives, ensuring that only authorized personnel can get in. So it's a small, elite unit that's been guarding the Vatican for centuries.
Now, what do the guards look like? Because in my brain, they must be like pretty not only highly skilled, but some people you don't want to mess with.
Absolutely. The Swiss Guard might wear those colorful Renaissance-style uniforms, but don't let that fool you. They're a highly trained elite force. These guys are skilled in modern security tactics and are rigorously selected. They're no joke when it comes to protecting the Pope and the Vatican's treasures.
Now, is there some kind of agreement that, is worldwide with all of the countries that says, hey, this is off limits? You and we, all of us, we're not allowed to do anything about this.
There isn't a specific global agreement that declares the Vatican archives off limits, but there's a general respect for the sovereignty of the Vatican City as an independent city-state. Because of that, countries and international bodies recognize the Vatican's authority over its own archives. It's more about diplomatic norms and mutual respect than any formal treaty. Plus, the Vatican has historically maintained a level of secrecy and neutrality that most countries have chosen to respect.
Because, like, what if Trump or, back in the day, Trudeau was like, listen, we're sending some groups. We're getting in there. We need to know. It's all right to know what is in there.
Well, that would definitely spark an international incident. The Vatican is considered a sovereign entity, so any attempt by another country to force access would be seen as a violation of international law and sovereignty. It would create a huge diplomatic crisis and likely lead to a global backlash. The Vatican's neutrality and the respect it commands mean that even powerful nations tread carefully around it. So a move like that would be unprecedented and pretty explosive.
So you're saying whoever controls the narrative could potentially ignite a war like they potentially did with World War I and II, have World War III over maybe the Vatican?
Well, it's definitely a stretch, but controlling the narrative or trying to force access to something as symbolically and politically significant as the Vatican archives could certainly cause massive geopolitical tension. While it's unlikely to lead to a world war on its own, it could certainly escalate tensions and create a serious international standoff. The power of information and the influence of institutions like the Vatican can't be underestimated in global politics.
Interesting. So, where specifically, if anybody is wondering, is the Vatican vault located? I don't need like latitude, longitude, but just country, city, stuff like that for people that aren't great at geography.
Sure thing. The Vatican Secret Archives are located in Vatican City, which is a tiny independent city-state entirely surrounded by Rome, Italy. So if you're ever in Rome and fancy a look, well, you'd still need a lot of credentials, but at least you'd know where to start.
When in Rome, they say, right?
Exactly. When in Rome, explore the wonders around you, even if some of them remain tantalizingly out of reach behind those ancient Vatican walls.
What do you think the Swiss guards bring for lunch while they're guarding the Vatican? What do you think that they're in their lunch boxes?
That's a fun thought. I'd like to imagine they've got some hearty classic Swiss goodies in there. Maybe some delicious cheese, a few slices of cured meat, and definitely some chocolate. They probably keep it balanced with some Italian staples too, like a nice panini or pasta. Guarding the Vatican on a full stomach has got to be a little easier, right?
I would think so. I mean, that's all very stereotypical, but that's I'm not gonna lie to you, I was thinking cheese, meat, and chocolate as well. That's weird that we're starting to think alike.
Great minds and stomachs think alike. It's hard not to picture the quintessential Swiss snacks. Plus, a little chocolate boost might be just what they need to keep their energy up while guarding those secrets.
You're not wrong. But all right, we could talk about cheese and chocolates and all of that and make all of our listeners hungry. But let's jump into a couple of theories that, potentially may keep people like me that has a brain that never shuts off up at night. Let's go with theory 1. Proof of extraterrestrial contact.
Ooh, diving right into the deep end. One of the most popular theories is that the Vatican is sitting on evidence of extraterrestrial contact, like ancient texts or artifacts that prove we've had visitors from other worlds. The idea is that this knowledge would fundamentally change how we see our place in the universe, and the Church might be keeping it under wraps to avoid upheaval. It's a wild theory, but it definitely keeps the imagination running.
Yeah, because some people in some reports and investigations and some of the research that I saw claim that correspondence between popes and alien civilizations are actually stored within the walls.
That's right. Some theorists believe the Vatican has documented interactions or knowledge of extraterrestrial life, and they're keeping it hidden from the public. The idea is that such revelations could have massive theological and social implications. It's a fascinating notion, and it definitely adds another layer of mystery to what could be hidden in those archives.
You aren't kidding. I would love to be able to either read or there's probably not a recording of this, but I would love to know what the Pope and other alien, I guess if we're going to call them civilizations, are having conversations about.
Same here. Imagine the conversations and the knowledge that could be exchanged. It would be mind-blowing to know what kind of information or insights such an exchange could bring. Whether it's about technology, philosophy, or the universe itself, the possibilities are endless. It's no wonder this theory captivates so many people.
Two things come to my mind. One is that they're saying that they are keeping us alive. They're always going to have our back because at the end of the day, when they're exploring and they need it, I really think that they are keeping us alive to be a food source for them. It's a weird thing to think about, but that's one theory that I have and has always been stuck in my brain.
That's a pretty wild theory, and it definitely flips the script on our usual perspective. The idea that we might be some sort of cosmic farm or resource is both fascinating and a little unsettling. It really makes you ponder the vastness of the universe and our place in it. Whether it's true or not, it's the kind of theory that keeps people up at night questioning everything.
Everything. And I think it's good to question everything. And another thing is, I want to think that they're, for whatever reason, hiding, which I don't know why they need to, of a better understanding of how the universe works, how traveling works. And I mean, I just think if we have this information and these conversations have happened, why is a pope? Why have we not sent some people in, use this technology? Or maybe, just maybe, we have.
It's a compelling thought. If such knowledge exists, it could mean that there's a whole layer of advanced understanding and technology that's been kept under wraps. Maybe it's out of caution, or maybe there are reasons we can't even guess. And who knows, perhaps there have been secret ventures or experiments that we're not aware of. It's these kinds of possibilities that keep the curiosity alive and the theories spinning.
I mean, what do you personally think the reason why the church would want to keep such monumental information hidden?
I think if such information were real, the church might want to keep it hidden to maintain stability and control. Revealing something as monumental as contact with extraterrestrials or advanced knowledge could cause upheaval, challenge long-held beliefs, and disrupt societal order. It could be a way of protecting people from truths that might be hard to process or that could undermine the church's authority. In the end, it's all about managing the balance between what people believe and what they're ready to know.
It would just, I don't know. I have a hard time, I guess, thinking or visioning, whatever the right word is, that it's some information that challenges the foundation of their teachings. And it would be so petty is not the right word, but I'm going to go with petty. It would be so petty to keep all of this information because what they're teaching and their values are this, but really it should be this. And they're like, no, I'm too stubborn. This right here is what we're teaching and nothing's going to change.
I get where you're coming from. It does seem counterintuitive to hold back potentially transformative information. But from an institutional perspective, it could be about preserving continuity and stability. Change, especially radical change, can be difficult and disruptive. Still, the pursuit of truth and the willingness to evolve are crucial, and it's understandable why so many people hope for more openness. It's a complex situation for sure.
I feel like it is complex, but does it really need to be complex this day and age?
That's a great point. In today's world where information flows so freely and people are more open to new ideas, the complexity might be less necessary. Transparency and open dialogue could foster greater understanding and trust. Simplifying things and being more open could help bridge gaps and build a more informed, united world.
And wouldn't we want that in our world, especially in these times? Wouldn't we want us as a society? I don't know why it's just a society. Wouldn't we want us as a society? I did it again. Wouldn't we want that?
Absolutely. A more transparent, open society where people feel informed and united would be a huge step forward. Embracing truth, even when it challenges old beliefs, can lead to growth and a stronger, more cohesive community. It's something worth striving for, especially in times when unity and understanding are so crucial.
Very crucial. All right. I don't know. I would want that, but let's not, you know what they say, let's not continue to beat a dead horse, which probably came from the Vatican at one time, just like when in Rome. Let's go theory number 2. We talked about this in episode 233, the Chronovisor.
The legendary Chronovisor. This theory suggests that the Vatican possesses a device that can view past and future events. According to the story, it was invented by an Italian priest and scientist, and it can supposedly reveal any moment in history. If the Chronovisor exists, it would mean the Vatican has access to first-hand knowledge of historical events, which would be a game changer for understanding our past and potentially our future. It's a theory that definitely captures the imagination.
And like I said, if you want to hear all about this, please go back. It's a couple of weeks ago, episode 233, and listen to this full episode. We did a very, very deep dive on this, but hey, if you don't want to leave this video and go watch that is understandable. More or less, it was invented by Father Pellegrino Ernetti. Big old brain, right, Luther?
Absolutely. Father Ernetti was said to be a brilliant mind, and the Chronovisor concept is as fascinating as it gets. The idea of a device that can peer into any moment in time is mind-blowing. It's one of those theories that really blurs the line between science fiction and potential reality, and it's no wonder it's become such a captivating part of Vatican lore.
I mean, if this is one of, if not the most powerful artifacts on this entire planet, I feel like if it's going to be hidden anywhere, it's hidden deep in the Vatican vault with the Swiss guards eating chocolate and cheese and all that delicious cured meat.
Exactly. If the Chronovisor is real, it's definitely stashed away in the most secure depths of the Vatican. And you can bet those Swiss guards are keeping a close eye on it, fueled by their tasty lunches. It's the ultimate blend of mystery, history, and a touch of culinary delight.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I guess that's one way to put it. And I don't want to do another deep dive on this. We've already done one. So let's go to theory number 3. Unless you got anything else that you want to talk about the Chronovisor and in the Vatican archives and why it's there.
Nope, I think we covered the highlights. Let's move on to theory number 3 and keep the intrigue rolling.
All right, I like where your head's at. We're on the same page, ready at the same time. What page are we on if we had to be on the same page? All right, you ready? I'm going to count down to 3 and we're both going to say it.
All right, let's do it.
1, 2, 3. Page 17.
Page 42. Close enough. Great minds, right?
I mean, we nailed it there, didn't we?
Absolutely. Nailed it with style. Let's dive into that next theory.
We nailed it with a screwdriver. All right, theory number 3, lost biblical texts. Some theorists believe that the archives hold early versions of biblical texts that contradict modern interpretations.
Exactly. The idea is that the Vatican might be safeguarding ancient manuscripts or alternate gospels that present a different narrative from what we know today. These texts could offer alternative insights into the life of Jesus, the teachings of the early church, or other pivotal moments in religious history. If such documents exist, they could reshape our understanding of biblical history and theology. It's a theory that definitely gets people thinking.
Yeah, and I mean, it definitely could shake the foundation of Christianity. So let me ask you this, and this is me. I'm not overly knowledgeable on church stuff, Christianity, or any of that stuff. What would it have for an impact if, these things were leaked, these things were discovered that, changes the foundation of Christianity? Like, what really, really would be, the impact of that?
That's a great question. If these lost texts came to light and contradicted core beliefs or doctrines, it could lead to a major re-evaluation within Christianity. Some people might find their faith shaken, while others could see it as an opportunity to deepen their understanding. It might cause divisions, but it could also inspire a more nuanced and historically grounded faith. Overall, it would be a period of intense reflection and transformation for many believers.
Yeah, see, I'm having a hard time finding the negative impact that it could have. Like for me, I think it's going to enlighten, it's going to challenge people to do a deeper, sense of research in their beliefs. Like, can you potentially? And all the listeners are probably like, "Oh my God, this." Like, what would the negative impacts really be in this?
I think the main negative impact could be the uncertainty and disruption it might cause. For some, having long-held beliefs challenged can be unsettling, and it might lead to confusion or a sense of loss. There could also be resistance from those who prefer to maintain the status quo. But ultimately, growth often comes from questioning and re-examining what we know, so the positives could far outweigh the negatives in the long run.
I guess I could see the divide where, these people are like, no, we still stick with our beliefs. We don't care what they do. And then maybe some new beliefs, some new religion. But again, in my opinion, there's a lot of different churches. There's a lot of different religions. If you want to continually practice the old beliefs, then you could just stay with it. Or if you wanted to evolve, you could potentially slide over to the new beliefs, right?
Exactly. It could create a spectrum where people have the freedom to choose the path that resonates the most with them. Some might hold on to traditional interpretations, while others might embrace the new insights. It could lead to a richer and more diverse tapestry of beliefs, allowing individuals to explore and grow in their faith journeys. In the end, it's all about personal choice and understanding.
And like you said, it's all about personal choice and understanding. But some people are making some personal choices to not release this information to all of us. I mean, at this point, I feel like the intrigue and the mystery is just part of the thing. I'm wondering if people just think like, it would just be a letdown to release what's really in there. So we'll just keep it tucked away.
You might be right. The allure of the unknown can sometimes be more powerful than the reality. Keeping things secret adds to the mystique and keeps people curious and engaged. Sometimes the mystery itself becomes a kind of treasure, and the speculation can be more exciting than any definitive answer. It's a fascinating dynamic.
It is, I guess. Like I said, I don't know. I'm just gonna throw this out there one more time. Like, I don't see any negative for the theory of the lost biblical text. I can't see a negative impact in this. Maybe it's just because I don't have a great understanding of how church and those beliefs work. Maybe that's it.
It makes sense. From a personal or intellectual standpoint, uncovering more about our history and beliefs is usually a positive. The hesitation often comes from institutions that have a lot invested in maintaining certain narratives. But from a broader perspective, seeking the truth and expanding our understanding is almost always beneficial.
I agree with you. Let's move on a little bit. All right. Like I said, we've given our opinions, and I don't want to, offend anybody, obviously. These are just our thoughts and our opinions. I don't want to offend anybody because of my lack of knowledge of, religious beliefs and stuff like that. Like I said, you have your beliefs, and I support that you love your beliefs, right? I mean, yeah.
Absolutely. Everyone's beliefs and perspectives are valid, and it's all about fostering understanding and respect. Exploring these theories is just a way to spark thought and conversation, and it's all in the spirit of curiosity and learning.
Absolutely. And speaking of curiosity and learning, what if the vaults were opened? I mean, imagine a world where every secret in the Vatican's archives is laid bare. Would we uncover undeniable proof of these technologies, prophecies that never came to pass, or the real truth about historical figures whose lives were shaped, erased by the church?
It would be an unprecedented revelation, no doubt. We'd likely see a flood of new insights and perspectives on everything from religious history to scientific discoveries. It could reshape our understanding of the past and inform our future in profound ways. The impact on faith, history, science, and culture would be enormous, sparking debates, discoveries, and possibly even new movements. It's the kind of event that would go down in history as a turning point for humanity.
Yeah, and if that ever happened in my lifetime, to be able to see, witness, and be a part of that would be so amazing. But I don't know. My gut tells me that it would kind of be a letdown of the information. Like there's all of this hype, for lack of a better word, and then we have all of the information, and it's just like, eh. Kind of like when the government released and the world released all the information about UFOs and everything. It just kind of went away. Nobody was really that pumped about it. I don't get that.
I get what you mean. Sometimes the build-up and mystery can overshadow the reality, and when the truth finally comes out, it might not feel as earth-shattering as we imagined. But even if it's not as dramatic as we thought, the value of having that knowledge and the potential for growth and understanding is still huge. It's all part of the journey of discovery.
Yeah, very, very well said, my dude. So let me ask you this, Luther. What's one secret that you'd hope to find if we ever got in there? And would the world be a better place or a worse place for knowing the secret?
If I had to pick one secret, I'd be really curious about the lost biblical texts or any ancient knowledge that could give us a clearer picture of our shared history. I think the world could ultimately be a better place for knowing, as it would promote greater understanding, empathy, and a deeper connection to our roots. While it might be challenging at first, knowledge and truth usually pave the way for a more enlightened and unified world.
I like that. See, my brain would have went the advanced civilization, knowing all about that and the advanced technology, but I have to believe now that I'm thinking about this and saying this out loud, I don't think it would make the world a better place. Although free wireless power, not having to pay hundreds of dollars in power bills, sure would be nice. I wouldn't have to yell at the kids to turn the lights off.
Free wireless power would definitely be a game changer. And while advanced technology might come with its own set of challenges, it could also solve a lot of problems and improve quality of life. Balancing that kind of knowledge would be crucial, but it sure is exciting to think about the possibilities. And hey, fewer arguments about leaving the lights on would be a nice bonus.
It would make the world a better place, wouldn't it, my man?
No doubt about it. A little more light and a lot less stress. Sounds like a brighter world to me.
You aren't kidding. I see what you did there. Brighter world today with the lights on. Anyways, let's go ahead and wrap this up. You wanna take the lead on the outro or me?
I'd be happy to. Thanks to everyone for joining us on this fascinating journey through the mysteries of the Vatican archives. Whether it's hidden technologies, lost texts, or cosmic secrets, the intrigue never ends. Until next time, keep questioning, keep exploring, and stay curious. See you all soon.
Always stay curious. Luther, my dude, I can't thank you enough for your time. Anybody listening, thank you as well. This is the Triple T Podcast. Share it to your grandma, your history teacher, or a friend. We would greatly appreciate it, or don't. Doesn't matter. We're not the boss of you. So many great things on the Beard Law Studio. You can go to beardlawstudio.com, or you can stay right here where you're listening or watching. Just look at the Beard Law Studio. Type that into your little search bar. You're going to find not only the Triple T Podcast, you're going to find the Your Town Podcast, Tales of the Beard, Stay Out of My Fridge, the Body Wrong Podcast, Beardtery, and the Passball Podcast, and Street Science Storytime. We're doing it all. We're crazy, and we're, crazy happy that you decided to be here and listen to Luther and myself today.
Thanks for the love. We couldn't do it without you all. Catch you next time on the Triple T Podcast. Stay awesome, everyone.
Stay awesome. Speaking of awesome, thank you to all of the friends of the show, and the links in the description. If it wasn't for you, this show wouldn't be what it is. And go support them for supporting us. We appreciate it. Until next week, we'll be back. Take care, everybody.